Hi folks, taking the camera outside again today. Pretty nice day. Hope you guys are enjoying the cool weather and even catching sight of some of the snow on the mountains up north. I think that's pretty cool. Um, as far as this little video, I just want to use it as kind of an introduction to looking at the history of the camera. And as you get into Module 2 and you start reading, it's going to say some things that might seem hard to believe. Cameras and film, they always seem to go together. And to me, it was a real shock when I learned that the camera is many years older than film is. So there's quite a story here, and I think I've picked some good videos to help you get a handle on that. Just a side note, you guys are starting to submit your work, and there's a pretty good faction that is including a statement of authenticity with their submission, and then there's some others that have gotten forgetful and they haven't done that. At some point I will have to say I can't grade this paper if it doesn't have a statement of authenticity. So review your syllabus. It's a very simple little thing. As you are writing your paper, either at the heading or at the end of it, just say that there's no cut and paste, that this is my own work. Now, I've included a couple of bonus videos for those of you who are do-it-yourself types of photographers. This isn't everybody, but there isn't a way for you to turn your DSLR camera into a pinhole camera. The video instructional website that I picked out, it kind of gives you the overview, but if you decide to do this, and this is not an assignment by any means, but if you decide to fool around and try and do this, let me know right away, because I have some refinements that over the years we have figured out how to make a better pinhole camera than the one that they are using. Now, you're going to find a big fancy Latin word, camera obscura, and in its simplest statement, all it is a dark room. Now, if you could imagine shrinking yourself down to about the size of an ant and climbing inside a camera and crawling around in the camera behind the lens, it would be absolutely pitch black and absolutely dark. You would not be able to see a thing. Except for a moment when the camera opened, the shutter opened up. Then if you were inside this camera, you would look at the film plane and you would see a picture of what was outside the camera. And then all of a sudden it would go dark again. Now, camera obscuras have been around for a long time, and they became very useful. You'll read about this in the assignment. If you would like to do an experiment, again, this is just because you're a curious person, and if you would like to convert one of the rooms in your house into a camera obscura, I'm just going to talk you through it real quick. The first thing you need is a room that doesn't have all that many windows in it. So if you have a room that has like one window in it, that would probably be a pretty good room to use. If you had a room with one window and on the opposite side of the room from the window there was a blank wall, that would be even better, because what we're going to do now is get out the aluminum foil, and we're going to use some tape and aluminum foil, and we're going to cover the entire window so that you could blacken out the room. So now we have the dark room. But what we need is what's called an aperture. So get yourself a soft drink can and scissors, and carefully, after you've emptied out the can, carefully cut a chunk of aluminum from the side of the can, and then trim it down until it's approximately 1 inch square. The next thing you're going to need is a hole puncher, one of those little hand squeezy hole punchers. And what you're going to do then is you're going to punch a hole in the 1 inch square piece of aluminum can. Okay, that is your aperture. Now, what you're going to do is go over to the window, and kind of right in the middle of the window, you're going to tear out a little chunk of aluminum foil, and you're going to get some black electrical tape. And right in that hole in the aluminum foil, you're going to tape the aluminum can with the aperture in it. You're going to tape that 1 square inch right onto the glass, okay? And then you're going to use electrical tape, and you're going to tape all the way around it so that it seals up with the aluminum foil. And now you have a completely absolute dark room with only one little circle of light coming in. Next thing you have to do is maybe seal up the door. Sometimes there's light leaks in the door. You can take a blanket. You can throw the blanket down on the, like underneath the door on the inside to seal off the light. Sometimes there's light that creeps in around the door, and if you take something like pieces of newspaper and fold them up, you can stuff those in there. And then you've got to live in that dark room for about a half an hour. You can't use your flashlight, you can't use your computer. You have to get your night vision going. And it takes a while. It takes a good 15 minutes or so for your eyes to adjust to total darkness. Maybe you want to do a little meditation, but don't fall asleep. And if it's a sunny day outside, okay, that's better. Bright sunlight outside. And after 15 or 20 minutes, I want you to turn around and look at the wall that is opposite the window that has the little aperture in it. And if you let your eyes adjust long enough, you are going to witness an image on the wall that is an upside down picture of what's happening outside of your room. So if your window faces the backyard, and you'd make one of these camera obscuras, you're going to be able to sit inside of your room, and you're going to be able to see what's happening in your backyard. Maybe your dog's running around, maybe your cat's chasing a bird, and you'll get to see that happen. So I have made camera obscuras in my classrooms. Every time we do this experiment, it's like a big light bulb goes on inside of people's heads and they say, whoa, this is what photography, this is how it all got started. We see an image here, but now how do we make it permanent and how do we capture it? Wouldn't it be neat if we could take a can of light sensitive paint and we could paint the wall on which the image is falling, and then the pattern of light and darks would be stuck to that magic paint. Well, that's our definition of film. And, and we're going to see how that magic paint got developed. So, let's see. History of the camera, statement of authenticity, help with your pinhole experiments. I hope you have some fun with this, and if you're real busy and you don't have time to do the experiments, don't worry about it. If you have some time on your hands, give it a try. Okay, see ya.